I'm back. Oh, what have we got today? Well, something a bit controversial. I like controversial things sometimes. But let's take a look at this. What the hell have I got here? I don't know. It talks about humangear.co.inc or something. I don't know. Let's flip it out and have a look. Oh, you got one of them things. Oh, that's one of these. Yeah. It's one of them Klon Centaurs. No horse note in gold. Oh, looks pretty crap, doesn't it? It's got a few stickers underneath. I don't really know why. Don't really care. But there it is. It's got its box. It's got its bit inside. What else is in this thing? Oh. Let's have a look. Oh, handwritten instructions. That's what it's got. I suppose it came with it. But this little box here, there's been more controversial comments about this box than almost anything I can think about on the internet. The Klon Centaur. It's just a boost pedal, isn't it? Well, since this guy originally made one of these, took him a number of years to make one. He'd been making them for 15 years, non-stop, one at a time. So they're not particularly that common. And there's supposed to be something very unique about the Klon Centaur. Whether it's a silver one, whether it's a gold one, whether it's got a horse on, whether the tail's different. Listen, they're all basically the same. Don't let anybody tell you that they're all different and things like that. The case might be a different colour, but they're all basically a Klon Centaur. Now the man who invented this went away and made a version 2. It was all surface mounted and all the rest of it. But of course, some people will tell you, indeed, he'll tell you that it's the same as this one. He would. He's got to sell some. I don't even know if he still sells them or he doesn't, but this version 2 is like a red one. And that's got its own story with it. I'll put a picture up there that shows you what he wrote on the case. And the case, it's something like, don't blame me for all the pricing of this one, the old one. Something like that. I don't know why he'd do that, but he did. He's clearly not a marketing guy. He's definitely not a marketing guy. But this pedal remains here as a bit of an enigma. You know, it's there. It does sound different, but does it sound different enough to qualify these incredible prices for these units? And indeed, they say that this is going to carry on up and up. It probably will, because there's so few of them around. Now there are some websites that show you some insides of some of them, and it's a bit pointless really, because other than a serial number, they're all basically the same. Yeah, they're all covered in goo, and that sort of stuff. So we're going to whip the back off this one and take a real good look at what's inside, because, well, why not? For the sort of money these fetch, you really want to know if there's something special, or there isn't, don't you? Maybe you'd never buy one. And that's just as good a reason to take a look at this video and take a look at one, to see whether there is anything, any real magic, as they put it, in this pedal, compared to even the version 2 or any other pedal you might want to name that does a similar task, which is really a bit of a boost. I wouldn't call it a distortion in the way that you might think. All I can say is it does sound particularly good through certain amps. Yeah. So let's take the back off and get up close to this. I mean, it's pretty boring, isn't it? We've got a gain, a treble, and an output. And on the back here, we've got an in and an out and a 9 volts. What else can I talk about? Oh, we've got an on and an off. So let's go close. Let's go let's get up close and personal and see what this thing's really all about. Hold on. Well, here we are inside the Klon Centaur. There's not really much to look at, is there? Because the man that made these things, in his wisdom, decided to put this sort of goo all over the components. Now, some people will say it's this and some people will say it's that, and even the guy himself has said, oh yeah, I use these particular germanium, whatever they were. I don't know whether they were transistors or whatever they were. Anyway, they used a particular type which affects the tone dramatically, or can be dramatically. You can get near, but you need the right ones. He claimed to have bought all those components up in the early days before he went to town with this one. Well, he might, but the world's a big place. I guess if you can find the type, you could do something about that. This particular one is serial 3610, so it's towards the end of how many he made. 8,000. Doesn't really make much difference. They're rare. Very rare. What else can I say about it? Well, the pots on this look like they're 04. That one says 0307. So it's probably nearer the end of 2008 when he stopped. And then he did nothing for a number of years and went on to that version 2. Looking inside here, I can't really show you what's there. Neither can anybody else really, except the man himself. And he's not about to actually, release the circuit diagram and the rest of it. No matter what he might say in public, I guess. Well, would you? If you've got a pedal that's moved on from its, up to these incredible levels where some of the best guitarists in the world want these pedals, I guess that he hit on something that was good. Certainly was good when you get to hear it later. Maybe you'll hear what I hear, maybe you won't. But all I can say is, it sounds good. Not a lot else to look at inside, so we're going to flip it back over. By the way, this one's a dual pot. These are singles. As I said, it's pretty boring around the front too. There's not a lot to look at. It says Klon on it, Centaur, on and off, gain, treble and output. And they are, you've got to be a little bit careful where you put these. You could be extreme and not achieve what really the pedal can do. And around the back it's just as boring as it was on the top. Nothing to see. An in and out and a 9 volts. Or you can use a battery, of course. And there's a quick shot of the label on the back. So it's all a bit weird with this pedal. I mean, originally it was sort of $200 or $300, give or take. Yeah, now it's $2,000 or $3,000, give or take. Well, when you've got guys like Joe Bonamassa, who's got 2, he don't buy them just because he likes the colour. You know what Joe's like. Yeah. There are other guys as well. There's lots of them. I just don't remember all of them. But those guys don't buy something like this just to say they've got one. Just don't do that. So is it really worth this money? It's well enough made. It's metal and all the rest. But bearing in mind it was sort of $200 or $300. It's a bit of a hard one to swallow, except until you plug it in. And when you plug it in, it changes things. Yeah. It actually becomes, I hate to say this, becomes worth the money. There's no other pedal, honestly, no other pedal that you can go and find, plug in. Even the Mark II isn't quite the same. You plug it in and have it out and then kick it in. Well, it's the same but different, but not like a distortion as you might know it. We're going to get to hear it, so don't be too worried. It's not all talk, but I really wanted to cover this one because it's so controversial out there. And all these guys say, oh, it's not worth threepence, and others will say, oh, it's worth every penny, and so on and so forth. I just wanted to get my own view on this pedal across to you, because your chances of buying one are probably not that great. Or would you buy one? That's another question. But lots of people do buy them. So how would I rate it? You haven't heard it yet, by the way. I have. How would I rate it? Yeah. It's going to be a 10. It's a 10, not because of its price or because of how it's made or because of any of those other things that you could start to pile on top of, you know, this quick review and say, oh, he's this or he's that, he's biased this or he's... Oh. It's 10 because of the sound. There is no other reason. I hate the colour. I don't care whether it's got horses on it or not. I don't even like the knobs on the thing. It's awful. So there. But it sounds brilliant. And the reason for buying, if you're going to buy one, isn't to, oh, I'm going to invest or I'm going to this or I'm going to that. No, your reason to buy one is the sound. It will change how you sound without question. If you use an older amp, I tried this in a JCM 800 when I was looking at it. And the JCM 800 was an old JCM 800. It sounded great at the time. And then he kicked it in. Well, I kicked it in as well. And yeah, you immediately want one. That's the problem. So I have one. Here it is. So let's move forward now. I've talked about it a bit. I've shown you the insides, the inside and out. It's always good. You see the build quality is, well, it's faultless really, contrary to how it looks externally. And yeah, it's going to be played. Don't forget to go to www.TonyMckenzie.com. This will be reviewed on there in due course when I get to it. I haven't had as much spare time for a while. Yeah, it gets like that sometimes. I've got emails piling up and all sorts of stuff. But I'm still around and I'm still doing this stuff, so yeah, it's all good. I love doing it, don't you? You like watching, don't you? I mean, if you don't, sod off. Oh, so until next time, here's the played version. There's nothing dramatic, but it gets a sound across, hopefully, to you. In reality, it sounds great. Till next time, get out of here.